We were listening to a preacher. We were traveling this past weekend, so we weren't able to go to our home church. So our go-to preacher whenever we're away is Pastor J.D. Greer from the Summit Church in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And he was preaching about how he's concerned with how young adult ministry is discipling, I guess, young adults these days. And I'm not going to do it justice. The message, you'd have to go back and watch the last Sunday's message, but he's talking about how a lot of the content of, young adult groups and stuff is therapeutic Christianity as opposed to just, full surrender and obedience. It's like, oh, what can, Jesus do for me to make me feel better versus full out surrender.
Yeah.
And I want to just hear, is that, I don't want to, you don't have to say that's characteristic of a Warner per se, but just what are your thoughts on that? Is because young adult culture gravitate more to a therapeutic Christianity versus an actual authentic following? And any comments in that regard?
Wow. Yeah, I think that's a great point that he makes. And also so this week that I've been home from Gainesville, I've tried to get coffee with everyone that I haven't been able to see over the summer, even the school year. And so that's actually come up in a couple conversations, not said like that, but I really do like that because you go to a Christian school, not only do you expect there to be Christians there, but you also expect there to be Christians who come with a similar understanding / foundation as you whenever you get to that school. So I have experienced so many different denominations, understandings, backgrounds, beliefs within Christianity. And a lot of that I have noticed, I told a couple of friends, sometimes is what I would call like the feel-good preaching or the trendy. What podcast was I listening to? Oh, I listened to... Well, I guess I won't say the name so I don't plug another podcast.
Oh, you can. That's fine. I didn't want to plug the other podcast because I was not a big fan of it. What podcast you listen to?
This one, it's also, the wife is the host, but like the co-host is the husband. It's called Happy and Healthy. It's Janine Imapola and the husband is Caleb Ward. Anyways, I listen to them all the time and they did a why Christian sayings aren't actually biblical. And all of those Christian sayings, I think it happens when someone comes to Christ, especially when their family isn't aren't believers. And so then a lot of what they're learning is off of social media, and social media will take clips that feel good and then it will look attractive, sound attractive. You'll love that. And that's where you're getting most of your preconceived notions is from that feel good therapeutic preaching. And so I have seen a lot of radical surrender at school, but because Christianity is normal at Warner, it's so easy to get in a rhythm of being basically lukewarm. If you hear like David Platt talk about being radical, it just is this crazy idea. For example, like he sold most of his possessions in his house, and that was like being radical. But really in the Bible, we read about how like people would leave all their belongings and go and follow Jesus because he asked them to. But to us, that's a crazy idea. And so I think a rhythm of chapel, normal Christianity at school, when you get into that rhythm, you need accountability to sharpen you constantly. And so sometimes I think we can all just get in the jive and it be a little therapeutic, whatever feels good, whatever's trendy, because our school is a Christian school. So whatever's trending at the Christian school is what we're going to follow. But are we like abiding in the word every single day? Are we sacrificing sleep? Are we sacrificing energy either for God or for others?
Yeah. That's a great comment.
I hope that answered your question.
No, it did. I'm just trying to process it in real time. So I figured I'd ask you since you're on the pod. Because I believe in therapy. I mean, I'm pursuing my degree in counseling. I do believe Jesus will make your life better. Right. Following the commands of God is actually in your best interest, even if you feel like it's, taking away your freedoms. Sin is fun to the non-believer. Jesus asked me to do what? Overall, you're going to be more mentally healthy. It's going to be therapeutic in the sense that you're going to be better off. But that's a byproduct of following Christ, not necessarily the goal. My goal of surrendering to Christ isn't necessarily to feel better. My goal of surrendering to Christ is because I love him. He died for me. He created me, and he's the boss, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of coming to a different starting place, I guess. And unfortunately, a lot of times, especially in cultural Christianity here in America, sometimes Jesus just becomes an attachment to make my life better. But if Jesus were ever asked me to do something that's contrary to what I want to do for my life, at Jesus, this is where you stop and where I continue, right? If he's calling me to do something harder than I want to do, if he's telling me to stop doing this sinful behavior, I'm like, I like you, Jesus, but not when you're trying to control my life. And like you said, you know, using David Platt as an example, right? He gets to the root of it, you know. And obviously every preacher has their different style, whatever. That's between them and God. But it is interesting to see, you know, sold out believers. We have a good friend, married couple. They're missionaries in the Middle East. I won't say specifically to keep them safe. And they're sold out. They're abandoned, right?
Right, yeah.
And then, you know, I even think of myself, like, man, I'm just comfortable here in Florida, you know. It's like, am I as sold out as I should be, you know?
Right, yeah.
So we never want to compare, but at the end of the day, you know, it's not about a therapeutic Jesus. It's about commander and Lord of your life.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, Jesus says to deny yourself, take up your cross and follow me. I think this quote is maybe it's by R.C. Sproul, but now I'm scared that it's not. It's someone with like the initials as
double,
their name.
Most smart people have their double initials. C.S. Lewis, R.C.
What's
Sproul.
wrong with that? Like E.E. self, I guess. I don't know. But they say, 'tis when life will soon be past, only what's done for Christ will last. And that makes you realize nothing you do for yourself will last past this little. Have you guys seen the clip of Francis Chan with the rope?
Oh yeah, the eternity.
That is such a short, and the Bible talks about it. It's like, but a mere shadow. Like our life is like this much. It's the very end of a rope. And so what we should constantly be doing is denying ourselves, taking up our cross, following Jesus to go and make disciples. And that's what will last that whole rest of the huge, long rope. And so I think people want to be comfortable, and comfortable is really, really dangerous. Comfortable's, it's not good. And that's where sin is bred. And the other Bible verse that makes me think of is that like sin separates us from God. And why would you want to be separated from your creator? And so I don't know about you guys, but I've experienced like seasons where you'll fall into sin, or even just a day, like anything. I mean, we sin every day, and you'll notice how you'll leave a conversation full of fruit, feeling fruitful and feeling given life. You'll leave a conversation full of sin, feeling like dead, right? And so there's a huge difference. As much as you try to deny that difference, there is a huge difference. But what's even costlier is the difference after we pass away.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, well said. Yeah, that Francis Chan clip is powerful. Living me through eternal perspective, right? This life is so temporary, and some people treat this life like it's the main thing. This is just the pre-course to the main thing, which is eternity with God. So